that pile of shit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Only Football. Man, the shag really just needs to be taken care of. Joe, Rom, Steph, Murph, you know you are. Eric Rizzoli, Theo, all the shithouses. Welcome back. And to the podcast listeners, we're going to do this again. Welcome to Only Football. I forgot to hit record on that one. And I'll try to keep an eye out. And we'll try to keep under an hour. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It was a nervy. You know what? That's wow. What we watch the Euros for Group F, and
that's why we watch football, man. Like the last minute, last day was great. 2 weeks for me. You know, start on the day. Come back to work the day the Euro starts. I get my second day off since then, and of course, there are no matches. Fucking perfect.
Yeah, well, I know, but it was a great group stage, so good for that. Exciting football. I think most of the teams that we thought would make the round of 16 have made the round of 16, and from here on out, it's win or go home, and that's why you watch it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say what we're going to say is just one team each that's impressed and one team each that's disappointed. Mike, do you want to open us up with a team that has impressed you?
Impressed. So I think, we both had this team. Hungary. Hungary in the group of death wasn't expected to do anything, yet alone get 2 ties against the both World Cup champs.
Last World Cup champs, yeah.
And they got 2 points out of the group of death, which always the winner only had 5. Could have possibly went through if they could have just held on. Unfortunately, those goals that they let in were the first goal in particular against Germany. Very unfortunate. Gulaki, I don't know what he was doing there.
Yeah, it was too bad.
Came out to punch the ball. You're taught as a goalie, if you're coming out to get the ball, you better get it, or else don't come out.
What about Lloris?
Oh, we'll get to that. At least he was closer, all right? But still, at least he didn't kill someone getting out. Maybe he should have. But left the net exposed. Havertz easy tap in and get the goal right back and give it up in the 84th to Goretzka. I don't know why it took Goretzka so long to get into the game. I think he should have been starting.
Well, I think the thing is that he was injured up until the beginning of the Euros, so I don't think Lowe really wanted to force him back with the midfield being their strongest
suit.
The strongest
position.
So I can see that.
But overall, great tournament for Hungary. I know they had 2 home games, which was a big advantage at full capacity. But fun fact of the group, Hungary was actually the team that was trailing the least amount in this group, and they still get eliminated. Only trailed for 8-9 minutes. Those 3 all against Portugal. They were never behind afterwards.
Wild. That's crazy. Anyway, to our credit, Mike, we did say before the tournament started that we both kind of liked if Hungary was in this group to make it out elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that none of these 3 teams should look at them as a walkover. And sure enough, they wouldn't.
No, yeah.
And can you imagine if Dominic Szoboszlai was there? I would just love to watch him. I would have loved just watching if they ended up getting spanked. But with the performances they put in and almost actually squeaking, they were out of that group with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, I know, Germany. It was crazy, but the last day, France going into that match, I knew they'd already qualified. But all 3 teams, Hungary, Portugal, and Germany, at one point during the game, were all set to be eliminated, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Crazy to think.
Yeah. As for me, I got to hand it has to be this team for me because for me they were the bottom feeders of this tournament going into it, so they absolutely sat me down, and that is Wales. I even labeled them a championship team with a couple aging stars at the beginning of the tournament, and stubbornly, I'm still kind of sticking to that. To be fair, I have to say, but Soren Whitney, did you know Ronaldo just broke the scoring record? Thanks, Soren. Yes,
he did. He tied it. He broke the record. He broke was most Euro and World Cup goals combined. The only player to have 20. Obviously, you have to be a European to break that record. But he did tie the international scoring record. What's his name? The Indian soccer player.
Yeah, I don't know.
109 goals for international.
Reigning.
Yeah.
Reigning.
I think he's Indian. Is he Iranian?
I think he's Iranian.
But congrats to Ronaldo. He's probably set to break it sometime. Not this tournament, but maybe even this tournament. But
question you, Soren: are you naked? That's what I'd like to know. Almost walked in on him when I got here. It was a really shabby knock on my part, I have to say. I knocked because the door was closed. The door was closed. I knocked, and then I immediately entered. It was really poor on my part. I saw nothing. It was like, yo, cool. Anyway, and everyone knows Soren, and by everyone, you got 5 people, so don't sweat it. Now back to Wales. Yeah, you know what? They were sound. I didn't necessarily think they were going to be an easy team to beat, but I did actually think they would end up losing all their group stage matches by a fine margin kind of thing. And they were safe after the second round of matches. And hats off to them. For me, that's going to lead me into my most disappointing team, which is the same team, same group, and that's Turkey. Singing their praises going into it, and they were easily the worst team in the tournament. Just battered every match against Wales. They could have lost 4-1, against fucking Wales. So
it was a tale of two differences, right? You thought Wales would have the Euro 2016 hangover, going into the semifinals, doing so well there, and they kept it up. They made it out of the group. They have a chance to make it to a legit chance to make it to the quarters. And Turkey, having that great qualifying. A lot of people had them as dark horses.
Even the last couple months in with the World Cup qualifying too, beating the Dutch and Norway the way they did. For me, just seeing that round of World Cup qualifiers, for me was this team means business.
Yeah.
And what, man, they conceded 8 and scored 1. It was just abysmal, man. It was.
Hopefully it doesn't affect their World Cup qualifying. It might, right? Because, you go into Euros with high expectations and then this happens, get absolutely embarrassed, score 1 goal and see 9? Or 8.
8. Yeah, there's 2 against Wales. But yeah, so that's that was it for me. Rom, no doubt heartbroken. Not even heartbroken. He was actually just so despondent. After the first against Italy, he was complaining, but he didn't seem too cut up. I think I was more annoyed than anything than he was. And how about you, Mike? Who's most disappointing?
For me, I think it was both of us too. Ukraine, having won their qualifying group with Portugal and Serbia, going undefeated, having a legit chance. Putting up a great performance against Netherlands, and even though they lost in the comeback in the second half, you think that would give them momentum. Barely squeak it out against North Macedonia.
They had a decent tournament.
They did.
That's another team that
they had that third match. I know, but that third match was very disappointing. Knowing you only need a tie or win to go through, and you.
Who, Macedonia?
No, Ukraine.
Oh, I'm not talking. Oh, I was saying Macedonia.
Oh, Macedonia.
No, Ukraine, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course. Well, Ukraine, they did make it through. They did.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did, but in very unconvincing fashion.
And they barely got it. They barely.
Yes, they did. They Spain did them a huge favor by Italy, smacking Slovakia.
But for coming out of that
weekly dump, Dan. Shit, dude. I'm sorry. You've been eating like crap. I'm not surprised actually. You probably had pizza for the last 6 days.
But yeah, Ukraine, they did get through, but they don't look like they're going to even come close. They have Sweden, which was, coming third and having to face Sweden. Sweden did win the group, so kudos to them. But still, very, very lackluster performance. Hopefully they can put it all behind them and get ready for their knockout phase. I don't see it
what I saw against Austria. For me, you know what? As you said, I wasn't even too put off by Ukraine after the first 2 matches. Yes, they kind of squeaked Macedonia, and yes, they kind of they pulled it back against the Dutch. But I got to say, what I saw against Austria from the get-go was what?
They never had a chance.
I don't like it. Addressing how far will England make it?
We will get there.
Thinking of putting the house on England, I would put the house faster on you taking 1.5 dumps in a week than England winning it. And any dark horses in the tournament, we'll get to that in a bit, Soren. Okay. So let's get on to our knockout stages, and let's open up with let's start with the weaker side.
The weaker side.
Even though
I thought we were just gonna go in order.
chronologically. Okay,
Okay.
let's go chronologically. You're right. Okay, let's do that.
We can do chronologically from the weaker side if you prefer.
No. Let's just do it chronologically. I'm fine with
Okay.
that because I'm close with England, Germany as well. That works for me.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So
Portugal,
first-
Belgium. It's the noon. That's 12 o'clock.
That's on Sunday though, because Portugal played. It's Italy.
Oh,
Austria.
it's the 26th. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Italy, Austria.
yeah, but they're at 3. So.
Oh, so it's Wales, Denmark. Sorry.
Wales, Denmark. Yeah. I gotta say, what I saw from Denmark against Russia, I think we both had Denmark coming second in that group.
Yep.
But a little tighter. Well, it was tight. Actually, they had to win. But I've never really seen Denmark play so.
They were at home, so that
did.
is a big advantage, and they did have a full capacity. Which if it was half capacity, I think they still play well.
Yeah.
But having a full capacity and scoring early and just absolutely dominating. Well, they didn't really score early. It was like 37th minute, but what a goal! Curled it right in, and then from there they were. But even before then, they were dominating. From there, it looked like they were never going to lose, and even though it was 2-1 at a point, and I had bet on Ukraine, and
Russia.
I had bet on Russia to tie.
I'm
still like it was a cheap penalty. That was the only chance, pretty much. No way back. Denmark, kudos to them. Rallying back from the Eriksson situation. Great performance, but I think the run ends
against
Wales. I think
against Wales.
I think the run ends against Wales.
Ooh, well, yeah. You know what? I mean, they're gonna stomp against and Wales not doing anything, but it's not because I don't believe in Wales. I actually do think Denmark really turned it. They even looked good against Finland before the whole Eriksson situation, but against even Belgium, I was impressed with what they were doing. I heard their first half was incredible. Even conceding twice against a strong Belgian squad, they threatened a lot in that match, and then they looked phenomenal against Russia. I know they're not going to be at home, but they're playing like really open and fluid football,
Yes.
and their front three, like they're kind of like rotating front three, is looking really good. Damsgaard coming in there, beautiful goal. So you got that. You have that youth player now in the tournament who.
Yeah.
I think they can get this done.
They can. I just don't. I think it was extra time. And Wales
I could see that. I could see that, but I'm still going to go with Denmark. Maybe a nice 2-1 in 90.
In 90, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one. This is it's an interesting matchup just because you have a couple dark horses in this, but I wouldn't consider them dark horses because I don't think either of them make it past the quarters.
Yeah. To answer your question, Joey. If they did play a great game against Belgium, but once KDB got subbed on, it was all Belgium, in my opinion, and he was the difference maker. Lukaku,
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it was all. No, because they turned it, but then Denmark had like 2 or 3 very good chances.
Chance at the end. Yeah, it hit the crossbar, the cross.
And there was a huge block by Alderweireld as well.
Alderweireld, but
Jason Denayer letting Braithwaite look like
on a neutral field. I think Belgium win that 2-0, 3-1.
It's fair. That's fair.
Having that home crowd, especially after the Eriksson situation, and the team has actually come together. Not even to play for him, but just to play in general better than what that first performance was. But after a situation like that, it's very hard to recover mentally. And kudos to them for actually going out and finishing the game. So that
we liked them both last week. It's like all they need to do is win and fit and lose. Seemed actually quite likely that they could get through. What do you think about Colombia, Daniel?
Okay,
nothing. Nothing. We don't think much.
This is a Euro. I will point. Did you see the Brazil-Colombia game?
No, but I heard the goal was sick.
The tying goal or the winning goal? The winning goal.
The Colombia's goal.
Yes, the Colombia's goal was a scissor kick across. But the Brazil, the goal that tied it.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, watch it.
Daniel's getting his wish right now.
Very, very controversial. I will give you that. So how was it 2 years ago they implemented if the ball hits the referee, it's just a drop ball for the team in possession.
Yeah.
Neymar tries to whip it into the box from like near center, not center like field, but near like 30 yards out.
Mike, then this kind of fucking get away.
I know.
We're gonna way off topic. Yeah, I can just watch it after.
Okay, but it hit the referee. The referee, because it went back to a Brazil player out wide, the referee said play on. That Brazil player crosses it in. Firmino heads it in. Goal. Referee allows it. It goes to VAR for about 8-9 minutes. and it upholds.
Let's go.
But that's another
More corruption in South America, but
Of
that's
course.
for only politics yet again. All right, that'll be coming in down the. Cannot please Soren. Yes, Joey.
But both-
You're Joe.
But favorable for Wales and Denmark because they're on the easier side. They'll
Yep.
face the winner of Czech Republic,
And
Netherlands, but we'll get to
After
that.
that, and let's get on to Italy and
Austria.
Italy's gonna win.
Just like that. Nothing else to say.
Listen,
Will they concede? Or will they keep the streak going?
I'll keep the streak going. That's fine.
What is it? 12 matches in a row?
Winning though. I don't think they've conceded in like 25 or 26.
I think it's 32 straight goals they've scored.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
32 straight goals.
yeah. I think as one of our producers, they also do a whiskey on the rocks, please. Say hi to Joe.
Is it Joe from Ireland?
Yeah, it's
Oh, Joe. What's up, Joe?
all right, Soren.
Yeah, I think there's Italy. I think in the group stage has been the best team.
5 viewers, man, Mike. We're gonna have to start charging.
I know.
This is crazy.
I think they were the best team of the group stage. Italy.
Mhm.
I think
100%.
them and then Dutch, right? Easier groups, of course. And now the question is, can they do it against bigger opponents? Austria, it's a step up from the rest of the group they played. I think we both still have. I think it's an Italy 2-0 win.
Why not 3? I mean, let's just get back on that 3-0 train.
No, I think they'll get 1 goal each half and pretty much.
Let's just give a tip of the cap to Austria and David Alaba. I believe I think it was after their second match. It was he said we're going to no, it was before their second match. They hadn't won yet, right? It's like we're going to try to make this a historic tournament for us. Winning would have been historic because they never won the Euros before. So that was historic. They won twice. They've made the knockout stage. It stops here.
First time you see their coach right into the camera. I love that.
It stops there. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, great tournament so far for Austria. Their best result. Getting to, unfortunate for them that they come second.
Yeah, and then they get Italy, and they could have got Sweden on the other
And
side.
they're in the worst quarter of not quarters in itself, but the worst quarter of the bracket, because even if they have Italy, and if they beat Italy, which we both agree that they don't think they will, they have to face the winner of Belgium, Portugal, which is so unfortunate.
Did you want a whiskey?
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
He's good.
But I think
I guess Soren's on Team Max, and he's on and Dan.
I know, but yeah, Italy. You know what? I we'll save this for the quarter final episode, but I think they're the team that comes out of this quartlet of teams.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That will be interesting. Let's get on to chronologically who we got.
It's going to
be Belgium.
It'll be Netherlands, Czech first.
Netherlands, Czech. Okay. Mike, you start us off, please.
Czech Republic. You know what? I think they deserve better against England. It was they had their chances. It was a very boring game. I think knowing that both teams were going to qualify, it was played at a slower pace. That was not for the viewers' point of view.
That group.
It was
It's
very.
England, though.
I
It's
know.
England.
It's.
That first half was great,
I know, but
and the Czech were very unfortunate not to score there. But then,
See,
England,
Czech
but then England Southgate just shut it down. And you know what? If I guess we'll get into England later, but
if that's what it takes.
yeah, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. But yeah, I was impressed with Czech in this group. I think they were unfortunate. I really thought they probably should have wrapped up second. I have to say.
Yeah.
I think they could have done a job against Croatia. I think they played well in that match as well. I think they looked good.
They were. I think. Yeah. You know what?
Purple.
Yeah. It wasn't for me. It wasn't a penalty. For when they tied Croatia, it was a penalty, right?
Oh yeah, that was soft. It was
that
soft.
was soft.
But
So,
I still think they played well that match. And
yeah.
on paper, I mean, to me, this was a team that actually did right by me. Turkey kind of threw me under the bus, as did Ukraine. Czech Republic did hold it down. I think I really would have liked them to have gotten that second place, but
They need more. Although they're playing well defensively and as a team, they need someone else to step up besides Schick. I know they are stepping up, but they need someone else to produce.
actually produce, yes.
Right?
And that's the issue. But you know what? I think we could see that, especially they can get some momentum here. They could actually get some serious momentum on this side of the bracket. You can beat. I'm going to take them right now. I'm going to take them to advance. I think
in 90 or
I think it's into extra time, maybe even penalties. But I think the Czech do enough to get by.
I think if it goes extra time, it's for sure in the Dutch.
The Dutch?
Yeah, I think it's for sure the
Why?
Dutch. They have
But
the
why?
legs. They have.
Why do they have the legs? De Jong's out for the tournament, by the way.
Right, I did forget.
That's
about
a huge.
that.
That's
I
a
did.
huge loss. Luke De Jong is not you. Sorry, Frankie. Frankie De Jong is out for the tournament, which is massive. That midfield and the system that De Boer has set up has looked very good so far in this tournament with the 3-5-2. Like Dumfries and
Mullen.
and
Mullen's-
no, well
oh.
Mullen's look good, but no, but it's Van Aanholt. Like the
Oh.
wingbacks have looked
He
very.
didn't play
effective.
the second game. Man.
I think he started. I think he got subbed at the beginning of the half. I think they brought in Wijnaldum.
Yeah,
Or,
he didn't start. He didn't start though. He
No,
started
I
the
think he
first
did
game.
start, and then he got subbed.
Oh,
I think. Regardless, the wingbacks have been very effective. But again, you know what?
still haven't been
It
impressed
was-
by the Dutch, eh?
I think they did impress me. They did impress me, but I'm not getting carried away here. I still think this is a team that has its problems, and I think it's a bit of a it's a bit of a I don't know false flag in a sense where
Red flag, yeah.
no I just think they're kind of duping people, and maybe I'm being stubborn because I didn't like them at the beginning of the tournament, and they did look decent, but the group they had was
It was
quite
very
weak.
easy, I
It
know.
was a weak group, and even the team that we thought might give them a run for their money didn't perform either. You know, and I think the Czech are very organized. I think they're very organized, and I think as you mentioned, Spain being that team where Spain's like if Spain thinks that there's
We'll get to
as
Spain.
good as they are, if they really think they're like what they were like 10 years ago, the Dutch might have this mentality for this Czech match, thinking that they're maybe like the heavy favorites. And the Czech to me are literally especially with Kufal and
Suchek?
they literally are like the West Ham of this tournament to me.
Yeah, I could see that. I still think Dutch will win. I got to give them credit. They are the team to go 3-0 the most times in the Euros. I think it's their fourth time or third time. Hey, that's history, man. I go by history. You know me.
So that's the group stage. Then what happens?
The group stage. Well,
then what happens?
We'll get to that. I think they win this game.
Okay.
I think they win it in
I
90.
think most people agree with you. No doubt, guys, absolutely on this. Guys,
They're going to the
I-
semis. They got the easiest courtlet. They're going to the semis, and it's unfortunate because depending on how the round of 16 ended up shaping out, if they had any other powerhouse in their courtlet, I'm taking that powerhouse over Netherlands. But out of
sure.
them, Czech Republic, Wales, Denmark,
absolutely
They-
on paper. But
they're
if they get past the Czech, I still like the Danes beat them too. Fuck those guys. Anyway,
on to Portugal, Belgium.
I don't know what to make of this
the
match.
big tasty one. Unfortunate for
There's a few.
Portugal.
There's a few in this round of 16. There's no doubt. But I really have no idea what to make of this. I mean, for me, what's tilting this because the midfields are extremely well balanced and equal. I think still for me is that
Belgium's defense.
that Belgian defensive line.
I know. There's a lot of questions. Depending on who you ask, I can see how either side could take this match.
Yeah.
For me, the concern is, everyone's saying Belgium's defense is a concern, but Portugal's defense, they've allowed 6 goals in matches, 2 goals a game, right? If they concede 2 goals against Belgium, I think they lose.
That's
right.
fair. That's fair. And you have like De Bruyne being like just picking passes.
I think they were unfortunate with one of the penalty calls
With Mbappe?
against Mbappe.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
if they're going to call that, there's going to be 2-3 penalties a game because that happens on every corner kick, any cross. There's contact like that. I didn't think he went out of his way and extended an arm.
No.
It's just
No.
a run across shoulder to shoulder.
Honestly, I love Mbappe. He's my favorite player. But I just
What?
he's getting a little
Diva-ish?
He's a little bit.
Oh, he's hanging around
he's-
Neymar too much, right? That's
Yeah.
that's what happens when you're hanging around Neymar. I don't fault him for the he's running, he got hit shoulder.
We'll do Ross House.
He could have stayed on his feet, but he fell. The ref's gonna give him a penalty. He gives him a penalty. But going back to Portugal,
Wait, sorry, Mike. What does smash like boys mean?
I have no idea. Please,
Do
Ross House-
they think this is like an OnlyFans? What is it?
Oh.
What's going on? I don't know. Or do they want us to drink more? Explain,
maybe,
Ross House.
maybe.
Explain yourself.
But going back to it, Belgium, KDB will be starting this game. I think Hazard will be starting. He got his legs in. He should
I'll take
be good. But For me, I think Portugal gets this done. I think it goes to extra times, maybe even shootout.
Yeah.
But if it does, based on history and what Fernando Santos likes to do, I would like to see them play more open. Portugal, I'm repping them. This is an old jersey. For those who are wondering, it's a
So it's
17.
a Nani jersey.
It's an old Portugal jersey from I think 06, 08. So it is when Ronaldo was still number 17. So it is Ronaldo on the back, very faded. Portugal's always been my team because of him. Internationally, I'm Canadian and Bajan, so Barbados is never going to make CONCACAF. Well, maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe they do. But Portugal, as a well-rounded team, their defense is just better, and they play a defensive system. I would like Fernando Santos to play more open because he has the players to play a more open game.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll get exposed the way they did against Germany. Although Belgium had the wing play, Germany, I'll give low credit to this. Kimmich and Gosens, they torched.
Yeah.
The Gosens and group, but Kimmich, it was just build the attack through the right side, bring Gnabry out on the right, make a 2-on-1, and then make the quick switch from Kimmich to the other side and just exploit Portugal. I was disappointed that they didn't
never adapt to that. They never adapted.
They never adapted. I think they've learned the lesson. It was good that they got a smashing like that because they're not going to get smashed.
Belgium
like
don't really have that ability though.
They don't. And it's going to be all through KDB.
It's going to be through. But if you break, if you look at Benzema's second goal in that match, that's worrisome. That's something that KDB, even like some Tielemans can do.
But I don't think KDB will drop back that better, and I don't think anyone else on Belgium can play that ball that Pogba played. But it was a simple ball around the corner. Diaz, got caught in no man's land. There was jokes that it's Stones that makes Diaz look good. I've seen that joke.
He's looked a little dicey though. You have Portugal.
I have Portugal.
Yeah, I do as well. I hope this match goes extra time. It deserves it.
If it goes extra time, I think Italy for sure is going to win.
Paper.
But I have Italy coming out of this quarterlet. We'll get to that later. But for now, we're just going to do the round of 16.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll quickly do the rest of our bracket.
Yes.
We're not going to get into it.
Belgium, although they did win all 3 games, they didn't really look convincing. No. Besides the first game against Russia, but Russia did not show up, and that was without KDB, without Hazard, demolished them. Mm-hmm. But if Belgium beat Portugal, it will be because of they had the moments. Probably the best player on the field. I think at this point, KDB is a better player than Ronaldo. Yeah, although Ronaldo's my favorite player of all time.
You have to take that.
KDB is the best player, so I think if they do win, it will be because of individual brilliance rather than a team being better than Portugal. Just my opinion. Feel free to disagree, but that's why I think.
Shut up, Mike.
That's why I think Portugal will win this. But and they've been tested. They came out of a group of death. They played France and Germany, and even a good Hungary team. They're tested. Belgium has their only test was against Denmark. They did prevail.
But Denmark caused them a bunch of problems. And that's what I mean. It's like, and then you bring a more complete and talented squad up against them, and what happens? I mean, they really could have conceded 3 goals against Denmark. I just don't believe we don't believe in that defense. And both midfields are strong enough. I think it's going to be Belgium probably actually going to be hitting on the counter more than anything.
I only worry about Portugal in this match is that Fernando Santos will over-adapt and play with 2 CDMs again. And if he does, that's fine, but don't play Danilo and William Carvalho. Play one or the other. Don't play both. And he played both against Germany, and it did not work. Renato Sanchez should be starting. He played well. Conte did not take him out, and he was effective. Portugal had their chances, but they were also lucky. 2 penalties. I won't disagree against that. Yeah. But I think they have enough to get it done, and just because they've been tested in the group stage. But I think after the Belgium, that run ends.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get to France soon, Ross. Don't worry. We're going in chronological order.
Yeah, we're basically right on it. Let's just open up. Let's go to it. It's the next day. I don't care what time.
Yeah. Okay. France.
Let's
go right into it.
I think they will. I don't think they walk really. France don't really turn on the pizzazz, despite all the talent they have. But I still enjoy watching them. They're just they're a very complete team. Whereas like when I look at England, I think there's a lot of talent there, but
It's wasted.
It's
being
in
wasted.
terms of enjoyment anyway as well. France, even though they don't smash teams, they're still fun to watch. They're still nice to watch. I believe in like the machine that Deschamps has set up there, and that you're gonna get some entertaining football out of them. And against a team like Switzerland, who is very
Up and down.
but also just all pretty well organized for the most part. You know, kind of industrious and dynamic, difficult to break down. I think this is going to be the most glamorous of matches to watch. I think it's going to be a convincing 2-0 France win.
French. Okay. Question: do you still think they're the favorites?
Yes, I do.
I do as well because although they had a win in 2 ties, they are stacked.
I don't mind. I don't mind. You know, for me, it's not the win in 2 ties that bothers me. It's why I almost considered not them being the favorite is because they the side of the bracket they're on. It takes a lot out of you. That's what happened to them last time too.
Yeah, they did have a hard bracket in the World Cup. Oh, you're talking about in the Euros?
In the World Cup, they had Belgium, Argentina. I don't really rate as difficult. Who else they had? Who they beat? I was thinking
they're always difficult because they have Messi.
Argentina, right? Okay, but Argentina, Belgium, Croatia. Who was the other team that they beat in the knockout stages?
It was in the quarters. They beat whatchamacallit? Uruguay.
Did they?
Yeah, it was Uruguay. Because Uruguay beat Portugal.
I remember that. I just didn't remember them lining up. Okay.
It was Uruguay. They beat them 2-0. It was an own goal, I think a Griezmann goal. Okay. But for me, France, they haven't got out of second gear yet, and they still won the group of death.
Yeah.
Right? They haven't played well yet, and they still managed to come top of the group. It wasn't pretty, but everyone knows they can play better, and we know that they probably will play better. Right? They get better as the tournament goes along, and that's the good thing about them, right? Deschamps, since he's taken over, they've always won the group. But they are slowly, getting.
And this is not a bad quartet to get the ball rolling
especially
against Switzerland. They actually pretty much got they got the second easiest team on paper anyway, out of their bracket, their half of the bracket. Then they have Spain, Croatia as well. You can get the ball rolling there too.
They definitely can't get the ball rolling.
Spain could be difficult if they play.
France should win this. I agree 2-0. I think it might not look as like the France we expect. That's what I'm saying. It will be a bit better than what they've played so far, and then they'll get better the next game.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to take a good, valiant team effort to beat them. Mm-hmm. Germany didn't look good against them. Portugal played all right. Fortunately, get 2 penalties, but France, they haven't really concerned me yet.
No,
right? So their play hasn't concerned me. So that's why I still think they're favorites because they haven't played well and they're still there.
No, and they've created enough as well. In pretty much every match. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like
I think
it's Germany.
It's hard to adapt your play style with a new Benzema, right?
Yeah, I know. Honestly, like they're not going to do it now, but I really think Giroud should have been the man to start this tournament.
I think so too because they just played better. You can put Benzema as the super sub.
As your sub, yeah. Like, come on. You haven't had him in the squad for like over 5 years, however long.
I know, but if you're going to bring him in the squad, I get why you have to start him.
No. I get why he is, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Would you have? You wouldn't have. You started Giroud.
The first game, but I would have probably played Benzema the second and third game because you only brought him because you're going to play him.
I would rotate him. I would rotate him I would start in the Hunger Games. See how that went. I would start Giroud the first one for sure, and then decide on the third. Okay, Spain, Croatia. Honestly, 2 teams here that, for me, much like the Dutch, can, making the quarterfinals, I think puts a gloss on the tournament, and then get your hopes up, and if you actually make it to the semis, it's like, okay, you guys actually had a good tournament. But either of these teams making the quarters after beating each other, I'm not really giving them much to go on, much like the Dutch or myself. I still think. You know what, Croatia to me, a little fortunate. I think the Czech could have done them in. They did end up showing up against Scotland, who were harder to beat than I think a lot of people might have expected. And you know what? I think maybe it would have been a reasonable shout for a team that
They had two
impressed.
home games, Charlotte.
They did. They did. I
had two
know. But
home games.
I'm being generous, but maybe a reasonable show for teams that impressed. Joe says they made Uruguay, France, that is, look pretty
No,
ordinary.
they did.
Which they
No,
were,
I agree. I agree. Do you remember that match?
Not particularly, but I can picture it if they
They did.
beat Uruguay
They
2-0.
They did. It was pretty convincing.
Yeah. But
And they didn't play well that game too. So that's more cause to take them as still the favorites.
but with Spain for me, I like Spain's match.
You
I do. I like them.
How do you think they're going to start?
I like them 1-0.
Does Morata still start?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Does Torres start?
Nope.
You think they start the same 11 that they did?
Yeah, they absolutely should. Absolutely should. Gerard Moreno creating, picks up an assist. I think people had their doubts about Moreno, but
I didn't have my doubts. I thought he should start over Morata.
I agree with you, but remember last week I said, like, if they're going to start Moreno, they're not going to take out Morata. They're going to bring him in. And sure enough, they did. And I think again, what I said last week is that Spain, to me, are they're just a team that could cause some problems here. Like they're not ugly. I'm sorry, they are ugly. They're not. And Spain, they're very ugly. They will not make your eyes pop whatsoever. And
for
I
me,
think they can grind out results. Croatia especially. I think they could possibly cause France some problems. Like I'm getting Greece vibes off of Spain.
No.
Like,
Okay, did you see Dubravka's own goal?
I still haven't seen it. No, I still haven't seen it.
Okay,
God, I forgot to watch that.
next.
Fuck,
Okay,
sorry.
so now,
sorry.
anyways, I'm gonna still repeat my question.
I'm
but
sorry. I totally forgot to watch. I watched the Germany report.
after seeing that Dubravka goal, Slovakia was crushed. Okay, they were crushed because of how the goal went in. If Slovakia got to 0-0 at half, I honestly think Spain would have been panicked, and I think they still would have won, but they would have been a nervy one. And because that goal in, it was like, whew, sigh of relief. We should have scored the penalty. We should have been up. We should have put away more chances against Poland, and we didn't. And then the floodgates open. But if the floodgates don't open, I think it's a 1-0 squeaky, 2-0 win, and they're not as high confidence, and people don't have as much confidence in them now. I honestly think Croatia can beat them. I think it's going extra time.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking Spain in extra time, but I can honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Croatia.
Fair enough. I wouldn't be surprised either. But
they aren't the Croatia of 2 years or 3 years ago now, whatever it is.
And they've been plummeting.
I know, but they still have. This is like the last tournament for this core of groups, and I don't think they'll go out. I think last tournament was the last tournament that they could. So the World Cup was the last one they could actually make a push on. This is the last tournament they're together for. Yeah,
but not one they can push. They can make a push.
Not having Rakitic is big, but I'm not convinced by the Spain team. The Spain team.
I don't blame you. Neither.
Quarters tops. France. If they get to the quarters against France is demolishing them. 3-0. 3-1 maybe. But this Spain team is not good. They haven't found their identity. I know Luis Enrique said, this team is just a champagne bottle ready to pop, and once they pop, we'll be good. I'm like,
you laughed when you said that, and then what happened?
And then they won 5-0. But Max, watch this Dubravka goal, and you'll see why the Slovakian team.
I honestly can't believe I spaced on that.
Oh my gosh! But no,
I apologize.
Spain in extra time.
Fire me, Mike.
Croatia, I think can win.
Mike, that was a hard no. Thank you. That was a very hard no.
What?
When I said
no.
I'm touched. I am.
No. Let's move on to the next game, which is the 29th. Which is that Ukraine,
Sweden, Ukraine, and we'll close with England, Germany. This is an interesting one for me.
Sweden, Ukraine.
I think just on paper it is, but based on form, it has to be Sweden all day.
It's Sweden.
Okay, all right, okay. I think I know. We both agree that Ukraine were very disappointing in the group stage. But let's not get carried away.
Sweden's good.
Here. Sweden love to disappoint. They love to disappoint.
Did you see Kulusevski?
Okay. All right.
Did you see Kulu?
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Sure he was.
I know he's the Uber player, so
this guy was going off in the only group.
He came on and he got an assist literally 3 minutes after he came on. And it was he could have set up 2 more goals before the actual Klaassen goal in the 93rd minute. He was dominating. Lewandowski, sucks that the rest of the team didn't show up.
That first goal was made.
bad goalie position. I will say that for what the goalie position, great goal from Lewandowski. But when the goal scored, it said unstoppable. I'm like,
Okay, no,
I was just
didn't
like,
think that.
I was like really bad positioning. Why is he on the near post? And then he jumped and only covered the middle of the net.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
you
fair.
know, the great finish from Lewandowski. Yes, I will admit, but bad goalie positioning. Ukraine suck. From what I saw against Austria, I'm not trusting them. That was like, to know if you have to win or tie and you come up with a performance like that, what are they going to do in the round of 16? They could shock me. They could shut me up. 90% they don't. I'm not. But 2-0.
I'm gonna say extra time.
2-0 Sweden.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go penalties. I'm gonna go penalties for this one.
Who wins? Ukraine or Sweden? It's 2-0 Sweden. That's this game. I think was like the one that should take the least amount of time.
I'm going to take Sweden. I'm taking Sweden.
Yeah.
I have Sweden in my bracket. I'm not changing it.
They have to. They're not.
I think this could be an open match, though. I think we can get goals in this game.
But
I think we can see like a 2-2 after 90 in this one. I think both teams believe they can get it done. And when one team's trailing, they will have the belief to be like, we can peg them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think the belief on either side is there. And give me an early goal in this game, please. I want a goal in the first half an hour. And
Sweden don't play an attractive game. I will admit that, but they bought into their system. They know where their identity, and they're playing.
Well, they need to, right? If they have any chance, that's what
they bought. They bought into it. Ukraine
Okay.
is still.
Let's close out with the second big enchilada. I don't know. England, Germany. Man, Mike, you at the beginning of the tournament had Mike, you had Germany winning in our bracket. My guy showed me that. Guy's like, Mike has Germany winning. You did say they're going to make a nice run.
It's a bounce back tournament.
A bounce back tournament for them, and they were unconvincing in the group stage. Very tough group, but I mean they almost got bounced. I will say the identity does seem to be there. That 3-4-3, I do like. Like they're
3-4-2-1.
Well, sorry, 3-4-2-1. You're right, but like that.
You
four,
like that?
I like the four in the midfield. I like that he's getting as much of the midfield as he can. I know you don't necessarily want to force players in to get the best out of your team, but I like it. I like what they got.
We have a difference of opinion there. I think if Germany
I said for them in terms of making an identity, which he hasn't had.
If Germany starts that same lineup for the fourth straight game, they will lose. He has to change it. Gnabry cannot be up top. He has to be on the wing. Okay, I can understand not starting Sané, but put Havertz up top.
Sure.
Put Werner up top.
Yes, I agree with you there. I'm saying getting that four out. I agree with you. I still think
Goretzka should start.
Goretzka should start now.
Yeah, I would have Kroos and Goretzka. I wouldn't have
Gundogan.
I would get Gundogan off the bench.
From the beginning of the tournament, but like he couldn't yet. But now that Goretzka's actually got some time.
I think he might start Kroos and Gundogan. I will be very disappointed.
He might, and it would be a mistake. England's at home for this.
I know.
Go Scotland, Adam says.
This doesn't change.
You're no Elaine, Adam.
England at home does not change this for me. England have problems with themselves. They're not starting. They have no creativity, and they have creative players that he's not playing. So what's the point? What's the point of bringing Sancho if you're not going to play? Why not bring an extra? Why not just bring another defender?
Optics.
He should have at least featured by now.
He did, didn't he? Didn't he come on like last few? I'm not even counting. I'm not like counting, but I think he did come on in the last few minutes.
5 minutes,
something like that. I think so. I agree. Man, Southgate's a knob.
At that point, just keep him off.
Southgate's a fucking knob, man. Like he's bleeding that team. And he's gonna go in there and he's gonna set up with 4 center backs and two
4 defenders. You mean?
Sorry, four defenders and two CDMs in the pivot. Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. Maybe even switch to a 3-5-2 in this match to counter the wings, which I don't think he should. You already have enough defensive personnel when you have a 4-2-3-1.
I think he should play a 4-1-4-1.
Man, I
think he should play a 4-1-4-1. But this match, if England has a chance, he's got to play with only one CDM. He can't have.
Mike, are you going to have Declan Rice play alone?
He's not going to play alone. He's going to have the support of the 2 other midfielders, right? But I'm saying one of them will have to have a more defensive responsibility, but not all defensive. Because when I look at Rice and Phillips, especially in Phillips had a great first game. I will admit that.
Yeah.
But the second and third game, he did not impress me, and
That's fair. I mean,
it looked like he was always running into Rice's space and then realizing it and then running away. So it was just like, if you're always going to run in the same space as him, why have both of them on, right? It's just like, maybe I think Grealish should start.
Absolutely, of course you should.
Foden, I'm not so sure.
Man, honestly, like all three of them should be playing. And Sancho should be readily available off the bench. Rashford, I know Sterling's been scoring.
Sterling, I know he's got both their goals,
but nothing.
Sterling.
No, of course not. But this is him. And what's he going? He's going to hit on the break all game. They're at home. Germany. There's just something about this matchup at this point in time that, even though I cannot stand what Southgate does with this team, I do think they actually shake off some demons.
Germany's winning this game. England's going home.
I'm going to take England.
England?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be some crazy, like...
It's coming home then. It's coming home then.
It kills me. It's not. It's still not coming home because they're going to lose to the Czech.
Oh my, Max! No, they're not going to beat Germany and lose to the Czech.
Yes, they will. That's the most English thing that they could possibly do, is have a cakewalk to the finals after beating Germany, their arch rivals who they can never beat, and then get bounced by the Czech in the semis. And so, and the Czech will set them up. They'll have set them up since fucking game 3 in this tournament to knock them out. I'm gonna go as far as penalties in this. I'm gonna go 1-1. And yeah,
England is gonna beat Germany in penalties.
Yeah,
listen to yourself.
I know. I've thought about this, and you gave me the reaction I wanted.
You know what? I'm taking your whiskey away. I think for Germany.
Give me my whiskey back, Michael.
England has won one shootout ever.
Uh-huh.
Germany has
the champions.
Technically, Germany has never lost a
extra
shootout.
Time or 90.
Oh man, you guys are. I don't know what you guys are drinking, what you guys are smoking, but yeah, with Pickford in goal, exactly. In a shootout, his little short arms.
His little T-Rex arms. did these little T-Rex arms not win their last shootout?
Max, if you had said England and extra,
did they win the last shootout with the little T-Rex arms?
Yeah, because Colombia missed. They didn't. You say, did he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Colombia. Well, Germany has lost one shootout. Apparently, it was the 2016 Olympics. I don't count that.
No,
but they never lose shootouts.
Listen, man, I don't want
generations of never losing shootouts. Against generations again always losing shootouts.
Things end. Okay, things come to an end. I don't want.
It did. England finally won, so now they're going to go back to losing ways. If it goes to shootout, it's Germany for sure.
I hope you're right.
I
hope you're right.
You would have had a less reaction to me. You said 2-1 England or England in extra time or regulation. But I can see Germany blanking. But if it goes to shootout, they're definitely winning. I'll put the house on that.
Okay, Mike. Just to wrap this up. So, do you want to do like $10 each on matches we disagree with?
So what were the matches we
that way if Germany England,
okay.
Which I hope I lose, by the way.
We both had Portugal, right?
And then Spain. Now you had Spain.
I had Spain.
Wales, Denmark, and the Czech. So it's actually that side of the group. It's this side. I'll even take
Ukraine. Don't take.
I'll
Ukraine.
even take Ukraine.
Don't take Max. We both said so.
Ukraine.
It's just Germany,
Ukraine, England. I hope I lose that.
No. It's just
Czech Republic and Denmark.
It's just these 3 games. I'm not taking.
A grand each?
A grand each. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
High stakes.
No.
Daniel will stake me.
$50 each.
50 each. Okay, or fuck me.
Each game. Well, it's either you know how it turns out.
Let's just do 10.
Yeah, I mean,
it's more of a gentleman's
thing. I know. Okay, it either comes out someone pays 30 or someone pays 10. That's all.
I just started working them.
It's for the viewers. Okay, we could have done a little.
In regular, okay, in 90 minutes, 200.
In 9?
I don't mind. I hope we're both wrong.
They scored 2 goals in their group, and they're going to score 2 goals against Germany.
Let's Mike. Let's just want to fly through this. No questions asked. The bracket.
Okay.
5 minutes tops. Okay. Italy and Portugal.
Italy.
I'm going with Portugal. Still going to take Portugal. France, Spain.
France.
Okay, let's go to the side. I'll grant Sweden. I'll give you Sweden. Sweden, England or Germany.
England or Germany, but it'll be Germany.
Okay. Czech, Dutch against Wales, Denmark. Okay, so this is okay. All right, so you have Sweden and Germany. I have England and Sweden, but for the bet, I'll take Ukraine.
No, just take Sweden.
No, piss off. I'm going to do it.
Oh, sure.
We're doing it. But I have Sweden.
Yes. So what's the point of what's the point of doing that? Then? That's my point. Just if you're not
Fine. Okay. You know what? Fine. All right. We'll take that one away. That way, there's a winner of $10 no matter what.
Yeah.
There's 3 matches.
Yes.
Fine. Okay. With Sweden. I have England. I have the Czech over the Dutch. I have Denmark, and then I'll take the Czech over Denmark. You Netherlands, Wales.
And then Netherlands.
The Dutch. Okay.
And then Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Belgium, France.
Oh, you go to semis now, right? This will be semis.
Did we, on the other side?
No, Belgium, France. Belgium facing Portugal, so we both took Portugal.
Sorry, Portugal, Italy. Yes, sorry. So
I
you
have
have
Italy, France.
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 Pardon me.
But that one goes extra time.
I have France
and
over
possibly shootout.
Sorry, I
right?
totally botched that. And then I've got, let's see, then we've got Germany and the Dutch.
Germany. That's why I had Germany. I
From the top.
they're gonna. They're not. You know, like if I know they're gonna start with this lineup, and it looks like they are gonna start with that stupid 3-4-2-1. I don't mind the 3-4-2-1.
It's just the personnel. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's just
sure.
like he hasn't learned yet. He's still starting that same lineup. Like it did work against Hungary too.
Hey,
And,
World Cup winner, man. Sniff his ass. I bet you like it too. Sniff Joaquin's ass.
No, but it at the moment as it stands, France is still winning, and then it could be against France, Germany, the way it lines up for my bracket personally. But we will have another episode from quarterfinals.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
we'll have okay. So then for me, Czech Republic, England. I'm taking the Czech, and then France.
Czech in the finals.
Yeah,
France Czech final.
Yeah,
I'm definitely taking away that whiskey. He's not drinking whiskey next episode, guys. Don't worry.
Only sniffing ether. Okay, everyone, thanks for tuning in. And
We got it under an hour. Look at us go.
we did
Look
podcasters. You're not getting cut off for the first time since we started doing this, and you guys see our beautiful faces. We will check in next week. Until then, take care.
See.
Really took it there. So I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute.
He's gonna break the record.
Cheers, Ron. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
Yes, we're ready.